Look, as business owners, as investors, as folks trying to make our lives better and taking this journey through real estate investing, sometimes we can get caught up in forward motion, constant forward motion for the sake of forward motion. We're making decisions, we're doing stuff, we're going, we're cycling, and it goes like this, right? And at some point, I'm sure you've experienced it. I know I have. I'm like, I'm just moving forward for the purpose of moving forward. And if I'm really honest with myself, I have no idea why or what I'm doing. And I think there are some great qualities for wanting to go, and do. There's tons of positive around that. But the fact is, it ends up wasting a lot of times and pushing you to the edges of just feeling completely burnt out. I asked my guest today to describe her journey from that place right there, to a space where she's capable of working less, making more, and making decisions that are more thoughtful and less knee-jerk. She uses intuition and connection with her inner self to make decisions. And now that might sound a certain way, but she is someone who has been at the highest levels of business, at the highest level of real estate investing, and got completely burned out. And what she has found and what she shares in this video is how she solved that problem for herself. So I would encourage you to take the time to listen to this conversation and maybe even pick up her book. My guest is AdaPia Derrico, and her conversation today enlightened me, opened up my mind, has changed the way that I make decisions in the few weeks since I've had this conversation with her. So without further ado, my conversation with AdaPia. I feel like there's a sense in business owners and in a lot of places where you need to be going forward, and giving this sense of complete control, which is oftentimes a false sense of control, because so often I'm still guilty of this. And that's one of the reasons I was so excited to have you on the show, is to talk a little bit about this, of like just feeling the need to show that I'm doing, to show that I'm moving forward, to show that things are happening, but really not listening to myself very much. And I imagine a lot of listeners may connect with that. So I wonder, as for someone who isn't where you're at, who hasn't sort of come to that connected place where they realize the value of their own intuition, what are some concrete differences in kind of who you are now that you've found that, and who you were before you were listening to yourself?
Yeah, great. Oh, great question. Well, I think one of the biggest differences is that we can talk about it from the control perspective, because I am like 100% a control freak, and we all are. I think I'm particularly like extremely controlling. I just like to have my outcomes set. Like, I want to know things. I'm also very strategic. So just in terms of how my mind and my brain works, I'm more of a strategist than I am a tactician. So for example, and so I have a very far out, I have an ability to see far out and to see strategy. So which is a control piece for me too, because I'm like, well, I can see the natural way things are going to progress. So therefore I'm going to try to put things in place so that I can control all of that.
Which is a key thing. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, but being strategic and being able to set up that system in some ways, and maybe you're going here, definitely creates a structure where you can start to listen to yourself.
Yeah, it does for sure. It does for sure. When you're not listening to yourself, though, you're in a structure, you're in a construct of trying to create safety and predictability, which is just not, it's just not life. And so at some point in time, we might wake up and go, hold on, like I cannot create predictability. And therefore it goes back to, some of the very basic principles around change, the only constant being change. We've heard this. Well, there is a different way to be in control, and it's a shift. Rather than trying to control what's going to happen, I'm going to control myself. I'm going to control my own response and reaction. Instead of being reactive, I'm going to respond. For example, I'm going to know myself so well, all my triggers, all my shadow. I'm doing my personal work. I'm doing my inner work. I'm understanding myself to such a degree that when life presents me something challenging, that isn't in the controlled environment that my mind and my ego might like, that I can handle that with grace. Because I'm responding, and so I'm shifting that dynamic. So as opposed to my well laid out plan didn't work out, what am I going to do? It's not okay, right? Like the initial response for me in the past would have been it's also very physical. So I'm just going to kind of like talk you through like the subtle, because it comes through our body, and it is subtle, and sometimes it's very not subtle, right? Which is like punch in the gut. Oh my God, this is not good. It's not going to work out. I'm not happy with it. I go into resistance. So basically, no, I'm not accepting that this just happened, because it's not in my control. So that's the before.
Yeah.
And so what happens when you resist, you close up, right? Like you kind of feel like you close and defend, and you might create all kinds of mental defenses and stories. Like how many times have you gone into a story of defending your position, right? Defending yourself. And it's right. You just like, okay, so that's all happening in your head. And I would often feel very ungrounded, like this anxiety would overtake me. And so I would be taking actions, but from a fear place, and from oh my God, I have to get my sense of security back. And it's just frenetic and wasteful. And I would just be, and wasteful just of time and of energy and where you put your mind. And so that's when we try to have all this control, and we think that because we've laid out all these plans, that they have to go exactly according to plan. But I mean, that's what, that's what like the ego or the mind or the personality wants. But we don't have control over any of that. I mean, nothing.
Okay, you did a great job of laying out the before, and I just want to see if I got this. So we're talking about control and how to control a scenario, and you laid out the before really well. And it's like something happened that you didn't expect to happen, that wasn't a part of your system. It was like a punch in the gut. And your response before was a resistance, which I think it's like almost like it didn't happen. This didn't even happen. And you're like resisting it. And your natural body's response to that resistance is to close up and to go towards security, or what feels like safety and security. And the inherent response to that is probably a recessing of whatever forward progress you were taking. Now, you didn't say this, I'm sort of inferring the forward next step, and starting to make decisions that, instead of leaping you forward because you're looking for safety and security, are actually moving maybe backwards, or maybe staying in the same place because of that need for safety and security. Do I have that right?
Yeah. And that was a great, like interpretation of like what you just said. Yeah, you do recess, and you're not actually moving forward, because you're in that defending of the past, or what didn't happen. So that's a great reflection.
Okay, so same scenario, whatever this scenario is. We can all think of our scenario, of course. But same scenario, kind of in the after, in the trusting yourself, in the connecting to the subtle. How does that look?
Yeah. So it looks like that the thing that happens, and it looks like you stop. It looks like you stop, and you take it in, and you breathe. Very important. And you breathe, and you notice what's coming up for you. Like you notice the thoughts, you notice the maybe inherent like reaction to close up. You pay very close attention, and you don't do anything. Like you legitimately just notice and stay in intense curiosity about what's going on in your system, and what the thoughts were that were coming up, And I mean, you can like journal them out if that's a thing that you do, or just, whatever it is. But the most important thing is that you're noticing, but you're not taking any action, because you need to let your whole system receive all of the signals. And then you choose a different response from the before response. So you also, if you notice that you're closing up, you breathe into the closing sensation and you breathe that out, and you might breathe in ease. You might actually, like when you do a breathing exercise, like I breathe in openness, I breathe in acceptance, I breathe out resistance. Like you have to tie the mind to the physical as well. So it looks like the thing still happened, but it looks like you take a beat and you choose something that feels more empowering. And you can go through the scenario, right? You can go through scenarios. If I did this, how does that feel? If I do this, how does that feel? And then also noticing, and what happens is you start to notice your fear response versus your empowered response, because your body, especially if it's fear, because we're not getting rid of the ego, so there's no point in trying to fight it. Just let it come up. The key here is that we're always going to be having a variety of responses, and we're going to have what feel like, negative, to use that word, like negative responses or thoughts, and those aren't going to go away. You just don't go towards them. You don't choose them as the response. You can even talk to yourself around like, okay, this happened. Rather than this happened and I didn't get what I want. Well, this happened. What am I supposed to get? What does it mean? What am I supposed to get out of it?
Hey, Jeremy here. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it created some clarity for you and zoomed you in on what action steps you actually need to take to succeed in real estate. If you haven't done so already, please head over to reiclarity.com and download our 9 action step framework. I believe that every real estate investor needs to take these 9 steps to succeed at the financial freedom they want to create for themselves. So if you haven't downloaded that already, please head over and get that at reiclarity.com. All right, until the next time, have a wonderful day.